A unique holiday tradition in Newfoundland came roaring back this year. Like many celebrations, the Mummers Parade moved online during the pandemic. But this year, the Mummers are back. If you're not from Newfoundland, there's a chance you might never have heard of this unusual festive tradition. Disguised in oversized clothes, faces covered, and voices masked, Mummers barge in on their neighbors and serenade them with a folksy tune or a jig. The hosts try to guess the identities of their masked visitors, offer up some food and booze, and send them on their way.
So you might put on a great big old shirt. So you grab some kind of an old lace curtain that your nan might have had lying around, jam something on the top of your head. You might wear a big old pair of woolen mitts on your hands.
While its exact origins are hazy, Mummering traces its roots back to the riotous ancient Roman Saturnalia festival, a day of feasting and celebration where slaves and masters would switch places. After the Roman Empire converted to Christianity, some Saturnalia customs were folded into Christian traditions. The word mummering seems to date at least as far back as the 18th century in England and Ireland, where troops of amateur actors performed comedic mummers plays like St. George and the Dragon, based on the Christian legend of St. George who slays a dragon to save a princess from being sacrificed to the creature.
The play basically, it entails a hero and a villain, the villain getting the better of the hero, and then he dies, and then through magic, a doctor brings our hero back to life.
The English and Irish brought mummering to the New World, to cities like Philadelphia, which still holds a Mummers Parade on New Year's Day. Mummering first shows up in Newfoundland and Labrador in the 1800s, but has a dark side. Mummers were mischievous, sometimes even violent. And in 1860, Newfoundland's government made it illegal to mummer without a permit after a man was killed.
For a long time, there were stories about there being all sorts of violence in the 1800s with mummers, and that if you were caught walking down the road and a gang of mummers caught up with you, they would beat you with sticks or old animal bladders, and they would rip down your fence, or they would tip over your outhouse.
Today, mummering is still done by some in communities like Collier's Riverhead, where writer Dennis Flynn is from.
We kind of love an excuse to come and knock on your neighbor's door and go where you're welcome and tell a few stories, sing a few songs.
A popular song revitalized the tradition in the 80s, and in the early 2000s, the parade launched in St. John's. Mummers now mostly visit seniors and people who are housebound, but in some communities they're so popular you have to book a visit from them in advance.
Sometimes they will get up to a bit of devilment, but not so much anymore. It's a chance to get together, to check in on senior neighbors, make sure they're doing okay, to give them a little bit of entertainment, especially in post-pandemic times.
Mummers are no longer frightening characters of lore. Instead, in those rare communities where people know their neighbors, it's simply a way to spread some holiday cheer. Alyssa Julie, Global News.